Okay, so this little video is going to be about race versus culture and the difference. So many people just simply don't have a clue what the difference between the two is. And it just strikes me as really weird that this is an issue, a communication issue, or just people being dumb. I don't know how else to explain this. If you say, for example, Chicago has a lot of gang violence and a lot of crime, a lot of shooting, and it tends to be in the black areas, neighborhoods of the city, for the most part. It's the same thing as here in Louisville, Kentucky. The west end of Louisville is generally where most of the shootings, most of the drive-bys, most of the crime, the robbing of Kroger's, etc. happens. Most. To say that doesn't mean, and these are typically the black neighborhoods, it doesn't mean you're a racist. It means that you're pointing out the obvious. Not that you're not pointing out, when people say this, especially white or Asians or something like that, say this, it's the same thing as saying the Chinatown happens to be where most of the crime happens with Asian communities, with Asians. It's just where most of it happens. It's not a racist thing that people are talking about. It's a statistic. Yes, for example, the west end of Louisville is a predominantly black neighborhoods, the California neighborhoods, the Parkland Hills neighborhoods, etc., tend to be predominantly black. And it's not the color of your skin that's making you do this, because I have lots of black friends. I've dated black girls. I have black coworkers. I'm not a racist, nor are most people, by and large, the overwhelming majority of people who point this out, including many black people. Many of my subscriptions to the Officer Tatum, I think that's the site. Clarence Thomas is my favorite justice. I mean, people confuse culture and racism. People typically don't say black people are this or that. And when they do, they're really meaning the culture. For example, the hip hop, the bangers culture, the violent rap stuff, it pushes a message of violence, that it's cool to run around with guns when you don't even know how to handle them, clearly, in these videos. You point them at people left and right. Your music is about killing people, being disrespected, blah, 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 blah. It's become a cultural thing to act like a thug, even though you're not a thug. And you see white kids doing this stuff too, trying to act like thugs. And also, too, the culture behind the adults who have caused this phenomenon. Too many grown-ups, black, older people, have taught their kids generation after generation after generation that the white man is out to get you and it's never going to be fair. So embedded into these 5-year-olds' heads is the fallacy that they're never going to be able to be anything because whitey is going to keep them down. That's the culture. You've got to stop the culture of blaming people that were around 200 years ago for the atrocities that happened to people who were around 200 years ago, and blaming things that don't happen to you. There is no systemic racism. There's no, we have quotas for job hiring. We have college funds for black people. There's no specific college fund for white people. Where is this systemic racism you're talking about? When, you get pulled over and you act like an idiot with the police, whether if you're black, white, pink, or purple, you're going to get treated like an idiot. That's not a race thing. That's not a racist thing. That's a stupid ass thing. Don't be a stupid ass. Too many people don't understand this culture. Stop teaching your kids that they'll never amount to anything because of the color of their skin, when that's clearly not true. We had a black president. We have a black vice president right now. Stop doing that. And there's tons of Clarence Thomas, for example. Stop doing that. Martin Luther King Jr. would be appalled at what people are teaching their kids today. You have every chance that everybody else has. Even a little better. I don't have no Anglo-Saxon college fund for me, for my kids. There's no quota where I walk in and get hired because I'm a white man. Stop it. And just because someone points out that there's a lot of violence in black neighborhoods, and there is, doesn't mean they're a racist. It means they're pointing out the obvious. Start working on that. Stop that stuff. Change the culture. I'm not saying don't have hip-hop or... Well, that's fine. Whatever. But start teaching your kids at an early age, instead of teaching them that they're never going to amount to anything. Start teaching them that the world is a bowl of cherries. And all they have to do is reach into it. It's not racist to point out the obvious. The hoods and this hood culture. I mean, I'm a hillbilly. I'm proud to be a hillbilly, but I got out of being a hillbilly. I got away from deep woods, eastern Kentucky. My dad was a bootlegger, ran illegal poker games, all that stuff. I don't do that. Stop teaching your kids that the hood is, some glorious thing. It is not. It's the end of the road, and it's a road that goes nowhere. Teach your kids to aspire to be more. Anyway, like, share, and subscribe. That's the culture we're talking about. It's not the color of your skin. It's the way you act. Like, share, and subscribe. Stay safe and be safe.